It started like any other babysitting job. I was 17, trying to make some extra money before heading off to college. The Millers, a wealthy couple in our small town, had reached out last minute, desperate for someone to watch their 5-year-old son, Danny. I had babysat before, so I figured it would be an easy night. They promised to be home by midnight, and they paid well, so I agreed. The Millers' house was massive, an old Victorian mansion on the outskirts of town. It was beautiful but had that eerie, empty feeling that big houses often do. Mrs. Miller greeted me warmly, showing me around while explaining Danny's bedtime routine.
He's a sweet boy, but sometimes he has nightmares. If he wakes up, just sit with him for a bit and he'll fall back asleep.
Danny was adorable, with big blue eyes and a quiet demeanor. He clung to his mother before she and Mr. Miller left for the evening. As soon as the door shut behind them, the house seemed to grow colder. The night started quietly. Danny and I played a board game, then watched some cartoons before bedtime. At 8:30, I tucked him in, read him a story, and left his nightlight on. Around 10 p.m., I was on the couch scrolling through my phone when I heard a noise from upstairs. A soft thud, followed by the creak of a door. I figured Danny had woken up, so I made my way up to check on him. His bedroom door was open, swinging slightly as if caught in a draft. But when I peeked inside, Danny was still in bed, his tiny frame buried beneath the covers. His eyes were wide open. "Danny, are you okay?"
Nod slowly.
He nodded slowly, then lifted his small hand and pointed toward the closet. My stomach tightened.
Did you hear something?
Danny only nodded again, his lip trembling. I turned toward the closet, its door slightly ajar. The darkness inside seemed deeper than it should have been. Steeling myself, I reached for the knob and pulled it open. Nothing. Just toys and clothes neatly arranged. "See? Nothing to be scared of," I assured him, though my own nerves were unsettled. I tucked him back in, gave him a reassuring smile, and left his door slightly open. Back downstairs, I tried to shake the uneasy feeling creeping up my spine. The house felt different, heavier, as if I wasn't alone. I distracted myself with TV, but every so often I thought I heard faint creaks from upstairs. At 11:30, the baby monitor crackled. A static hiss filled the speaker before Danny's small, trembling voice came through.
He's in my room.
My breath caught in my throat. I bolted upstairs, heart hammering. Danny was curled up in the corner of his bed, clutching his blanket. "What's wrong, Danny?" he gasped. He pointed again to the closet. Something about the way he did it sent ice through my veins. This time I hesitated before stepping toward it. I pulled the door open, and this time it wasn't empty. A figure stood inside, tall, impossibly thin, with hollow eyes reflecting the dim glow of the nightlight, its mouth stretched into an unnatural grin. I screamed and slammed the door shut. Grabbing Danny, I ran out of the room, my pulse roaring in my ears. We sprinted down the stairs as heavy, deliberate footsteps followed. The front door was locked. My fingers fumbled with the latch as a low chuckle echoed from the stairwell. Finally, the lock clicked, and I yanked the door open, rushing outside with Danny in my arms. A car's headlights cut through the darkness. Mr. and Mrs. Miller pulling into the driveway. They saw my terrified face and ran toward us.
Oh my God, what happened? Are you both all right?
I don't know, something was in the house. We barely made it out.
What happened?
Mrs. Miller demanded, taking Danny from my arms. I turned to point at the house, but when I did, the door stood wide open. The house was silent. I stammered, trying to explain, but nothing made sense. They searched the house, nothing. No sign of forced entry, no footprints, nothing disturbed.
He doesn't like new people.
That was my last babysitting job. I never went back, and the Millers never called me again. But sometimes, when I drive past that house at night, I swear I see a shadow in the window, watching, waiting for another babysitter to come inside.